It was the summer of 1884, deep in the Colorado Territory, where the land was stubborn, the men even more so, and power was measured by the cattle on your range and the silence in your name. The Calloway Ranch stretched wide across that dust-blown land, 15,000 head of cattle, 60 ranch hands, and one name that carried more weight than a loaded rifle, Silas Calloway. But this story wasn't about Silas. It was about his only son, Garrett Calloway, a man molded in iron, raised beneath a shadow so long it threatened to swallow him whole. Garrett had lived his life as the heir to the Calloway legacy, learning early that feelings were liabilities and choices were privileges for lesser men. Garrett entered the heavy-beam study where the smell of old tobacco and power lingered like ghosts. Silas didn't look up from his desk. He didn't need to. His voice came low and flat. "It's time." Garrett stood there, still as the land outside. Time for what? Silas pushed an envelope across the desk like it was another contract. "You're marrying Evelyn McCrae. Saturday." Garrett blinked once, not out of shock, but because the name reached into some distant memory. Dirt roads, a quiet girl, eyes like troubled skies. Evelyn McCrae? That family had been all but erased. Dust and pride. That's all folks said remained. "She's got land," Silas said, voice hardening. "Barely, but enough to matter. Her name still holds some weight. The McCraes and Calloways joining makes sense, so I'm breeding stock now." Garrett muttered. "You're a Calloway," Silas snapped. "You marry for land, legacy, just like I did." Garrett wanted to protest, but the life he lived had been built on obedience. He asked, "You even know what she looks like?" "Pretty enough. Sharp enough. That's all that matters." Garrett walked the fence line that night, staring at the horizon, wondering how a man as boundless as the plains could feel so cornered. 2 days later, in the Calloway chapel, Garrett stood waiting. The crowd was small, ranch hands, a preacher, and a few curious townsfolk. Then the doors opened. Evelyn entered, her step steady, her veil simple. No extravagance, no fuss, just presence. The vows were exchanged. "Do you, Garrett Calloway?" "I do." "Do you, Evelyn McCrae?" "I do." He lifted the veil. Her expression was calm, composed. Her eyes met his, quietly dignified. Garrett, raised to expect strength only in silence, saw a different kind of strength now, grace under pressure. They returned to the ranch house. Garrett pointed down the hall. "Room across from mine is yours." Evelyn unpacked quietly, books, a journal, a small photo of her late father. In his room, Garrett sat thinking, unsure how two lives were supposed to blend. At dawn, Evelyn was already reviewing the ranch's ledgers. Garrett entered, surprised. "You're reading the books." "You left them out," she replied. "I want to understand how this place runs before I try to help it." "You always talk like that." "Only when people assume I'm not thinking." Days passed. Then came the fire. Garrett smelled smoke before he saw flames. He rode fast. At the barn, ranch hands scrambled. And there, hauling water like she'd done it all her life, stood Evelyn. "You'll get hurt," Garrett said. "And so will your ranch if no one helps," she replied. They fought the fire side by side. When the smoke cleared, they stood shoulder to shoulder, ash streaking their faces. Garrett glanced at her. "You didn't have to." "Neither did you." She walked back to the house. He watched, quietly humbled. They shared little conversation, but mutual respect grew. One evening, Garrett asked, "Why'd you agree to this marriage?" "Because I was tired of facing everything alone." He nodded. "Not tired of being alone." "No, just tired of pretending it didn't matter." Garrett stood. "Thank you for showing strength without noise." Evelyn responded with a quiet nod. At the Hollow Creek Summer Fair, Evelyn walked calmly among the townsfolk. Whispers followed her. Garrett noticed the way she carried herself, not boastful, not loud, just steady. A woman whispered, "That's the McCrae girl." "She doesn't look the way they said," the other replied. Evelyn turned to them. "My father said, talk less, let your work speak louder." Later, Garrett said to her, they expected someone smaller. "So did you," she replied. He smiled faintly. "You carry yourself like you belong." "I may not own everything here," she said, "but I know how to live in it." Back at the ranch, Garrett faced his father. "You're letting her distract you," Silas accused. "She's not a distraction," Garrett said. "She's my partner. Your duty is to the land. My duty is to live truthfully." Silas leaned back. "You disappoint me." Garrett looked him in the eye. "That means I'm finally becoming my own man." Outside, Evelyn was checking feed bins. Garrett approached. I told him I choose this, not because it's expected, because I want to contribute, with you." Evelyn studied his face. "Then ride the ridge with me tomorrow. If by sundown you still mean what you said, I'll believe it." At dawn, they rode together. No crowd, no words, just sky and dust. At the top of the ridge, they paused. Garrett looked across the land. "This used to be your father's," he said. Evelyn nodded. "It still is, in spirit. But today, it's ours." Garrett turned to her. "I want to build something here. Something decent. Something that honors both names." She nodded. "Then begin by being upright. Not just here, but always." They rode down together. No titles, no legacy to uphold but the one they'd choose. Not bound by affection or display, but by mutual purpose and trust. Garrett Calloway thought he was marrying for land. Evelyn McCrae thought she was marrying to survive. But in the space between fire and responsibility, they found something greater than either expected. A companionship built not on romance, but on truth, trust, and mutual respect. And that, in the harsh lands of Colorado, was more enduring than love.